Episode 1 of the Spare arc. This is taking place where Chizai, the housekeeper girl that got killed off, who was the first one that got killed off in the future arc series, she is talking about how it all started, because she did mention to Makoto that she was the teacher who was part of the classroom that the characters from the students from Danganronpa 2 were from in Hope's Peak Academy before the whole being the remnants of despair kind of thing. So she's talking about the story about it, and we get all of the characters: Ibuki, Hajime, Kazuichi, Nagito, Fuyuhiko, Mikan, Mahiru, Hiyoko, Pekuyama, Teruteru, Nekomaru, Akane, you know the rest. And basically this whole episode is about introducing the characters, and there was no introduction needed. You didn't need to know about who they are as personality wise, because you already know who they were, but they give you a small recap of who they are, basically, not like through heavy exposition, just by the actions the characters do in the game. Like, you know that Nagito's lucky, you know Akane fights, you know Nekomaru is the PE teacher kind of guy, and you know that Nagito's the lucky student, you know that Fuyuhiko's the well, they never explained it yet in the anime. And you see the imposter guy, only he's not Byakuya as in Danganronpa 2. He is Ryota in this. If you don't remember who Ryota is the animator that wants to make anime from the Future Arc series. And you already know it's the fucking imposter, because the imposter is a goddamn fat ass. However, after they were introducing the characters and all that, which was pretty fun and hilarious, seeing all the characters back together, as well as the annoying ones like Hiyoko, who I still can't stand, and Teruteru, who I still can't stand, because no matter what you do to hurt him, he will always have a fetish for pain and all that shit. And I did forget, he doesn't just like girls, he likes men too, so he goes both ways. But a shocking thing has happened, because I didn't expect it. Chiaki is actually a real human being, a real person. She's not an AI program like in Danganronpa 2, which I was like, wait, Chiaki was based off of someone IRL? So she was actually a student in the classroom, but not Hajime. Is Hajime gonna be a part of that class, or what? Monokuma was a dick to say that she was an imposter. Or no, not imposter. Monokuma was an asshole to say she was a traitor, even though she isn't. But she did work for the Future Foundation, as they said. So that's why he would try to pin her down as the traitor, because she works for them. But she was a part of that class. She was still part of the part, which is why they had to add her in there, because, you know, she was a part of the classroom from Hope's Peak Academy before they became the Remnants of Despair, which makes sense. And Hajime does get his one scene in there, which shows you the reason through like voices in his head that why they took out his memory about why he was a reserve course student and that he doesn't have a talent, because apparently that thing that tells him that he has no talent is probably, if I'm guessing right, was the reason that caused his despair and made him become Izuru Kamakura. One of the reasons, probably. But Chiaki goes and says to him, hey, you don't need a talent just to mean something. Like, you're free to do whatever you want, free to become anyone you want to be. And she's right. Chiaki is speaking truth, and she gave Hajime a bit of hope and waved goodbye to him before she was carried off to her classroom. And I thought that was pretty sweet and pretty cute. So yeah, that was episode 1. I loved it. I hope episode 2 is good as this one. So catch you back in about a few. This is probably my favorite episode, episode 2. This is the one where everyone doesn't bond together that much because they are basically hating each other. They just keep fighting, bickering, whatever. And I think this is a good episode that develops more character development, which shows why Chiaki was chosen to be the one to help. This shows like why Chiaki was the AI program version of Chiaki from Danganronpa 2 was the reason why she was part of the group of the students in that game, because because this is how she got everyone to actually come together as one and be friends, basically. And it's all thanks to Chizai. Chizai went and told her that, hey, games are more fun if you played them with friends, with a lot of people together. And that's what Chiaki did. She brought a Nintendo 64, Kazuichi fucking made a flat screen TV, like a huge ass one, and they started playing like bootleg versions of Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart Racing, Mario Party, etc. Oh, and Bomberman. They play these bootleg looking versions of those games, even though that Chiaki has mentioned Double Dragon 2 at the end, because she does a special move from the game when Teru was about to quote unquote rape Hiyoko. And this is the explanation why. Because Hiyoko put a fucking one of the soup potions, these soup potion things that Teru made with the science lab nerds and shit. And one of them was this potion that made Aikane super swole, Super Saiyan like powerful warrior to beat Nekomaru up, because she wants to beat Nekomaru, so she took the soup, and she became powerful to defeat his ass, and which was hilarious. But one of the soup potions was this lewd one that got everyone in heat, basically. Super horny people in the room. It's scary to think that an orgy would have happened. There. However, I think this is also an origin of how Nagito became so fascinated with hope. Because when he ate the soup, he started being so hot and heated for hope. And apparently, I think that potion didn't wear off on Nagito, because once everyone wanted Chiaki to be the class rep, everyone was agreeing. And Gundam said that, so that's what the class chosen, huh? Which is his own way of saying that he likes Chiaki too. So that is still in character with Gundam when he said that. And Nagito being so hopeful, he does his poses, his sprite poses, and he's like, Chiaki would be the light that will never fade for our class and put us in the side of hope, or something he said like that. And I was like, wow, Nagito, you had to say it like that. So yeah, this is a pretty good story. It shows Chiaki helping everyone come together and actually being friends, which was a good thing that Chizai told her that. And side note, Chizai is working for the Future Foundation, and this is before she was, corrupted from the video that Ryota made. And Chizai is like on a mission there go and find out what Hope's Peak Academy is like secretly planning, because apparently they're planning something sinister. Because apparently their money and budget comes from the overly expensive reserve courses that the no talent students have to take. And apparently this council, these people in Hope's Peak Academy are eyeing on Hajime. So we don't know why they're eyeing on Hajime. We just know that they want Hajime, basically. And at the end of the episode, Chiaki says, "Hey, Hajime, you want to go to the arcade and like play this new fighting game?" And Hajime's like, I'm not good at fighting games." And then Chiaki says, "That's fine, I'll teach you," which was so sweet, because because she wants to actually have fun with him, because it's fun to play games with friends, since Chisai taught her that, and that gave her a lot of hope. So I thought it was so adorable how that happened. Also, Teru yells out Taylor Swift after getting fucking shoryuken by Chiaki. The fuck? Jesus, yeah. They drank that lewd, sexy potion thing because Kyoko, the bitch as she is, spikes it because she wanted everyone to see the reaction, how people would feel, and everyone became all hot and bothered. Even Mikan wanted fucking Pekko's sword, but just the tip. And Pekko's like, "What are you gonna do with that?" So ridiculous, it's so silly. But yeah, also, a new transfer student has come to Hajime's class, and we don't know who this girl is, but already she's like, "I don't know why I got stuck here with all you peons," or whatever like that. So, who is this girl? I don't know. Maybe she was sent by Hope's Peak Academy. So, let's see what goes in the next episode, okay? That was so fucking dark. So, this is Twilight Syndrome, the game that they played in Danganronpa 2, the Twilight Syndrome video game they played. This one is basically the story of how Fuyuhiko's sister got killed, and you can see the players at bay who it was. Hajime was obviously one of the boys in the game. Mahiru was one of the girls, as well as the friend. She had a friend in the reserve course, and the other girl is Fuyuhiko's sister, obviously, that gets murdered and killed. And we all know who killed Fuyuhiko's sister, and that was Mahiru's friend. And I think it was her, if I'm correct. And I think it's implied that she had committed suicide, and and that's why she hasn't came back to Hope's Peak. And now security is maxed out, everything is there. Hajime in the middle of it, he gets advice from two different sides. He gets advice from one of the advisors in the school who says that, "Hey, like, don't be afraid of normalcy. Like, it's okay to not have a talent. It's okay to be normal and everything." And that's what he said. Even Chiaki says that you don't need a talent to be interesting, or you don't need a talent to succeed, or whatever like that. She says that it's not required. You're still not good who you are. Even at the end of the episode, Hajime is like, "Hey, Chiaki, hey, you're not just the ultimate gamer. You have a lot of good points about you also besides that." Which was a good smile, because he denied to play a new game with Chiaki and said he'll see her tomorrow, which I'm scared to think that Hajime isn't going to see her tomorrow, because Hajime had to come to a decision to become everyone's hope, basically. Like, he has to become an ultimate hope, basically. That's the talent he was given, I'm guessing. Be the ultimate hope, Hajime, or whatever. And that's what this council in Hope's Peak is wanting him to do. But in the other side of it, one of the friends of Chiza's friends, he says that more people are boring and there's nothing interesting about you, whatever. Or whatever, and he puts it in the negative side to get Hajime out of the way because he thinks reserved course students are trash and scum, and he doesn't like people with no talent, which, Chiza does not like that at all. And this had gone depressing really fast. You see how Fuyuhiko's sister was like so mad. She wanted to be there because she wanted to be by her brother's side. She wanted to mean something to him and not be someone with no talent at all. Hajime tries to cheer her up. It doesn't work, but then she gets killed in the end, so that sucks. Which is sad because Fuyuhiko's sister, as much as how bitchy she was, you can see that she is scared and sad and in pain, that she really wanted to be by her brother. She really wants to really impress him and also impress a lot of people. That's why she wants to go in the main course, not the reserve course. And I feel bad for her. And she died, which sucked. And she really wanted to be there with her brother, even though how bitchy she was, even though how mean she was to Mahiru, and acting all tough that she will kill her. And then Mahiru's friend straight up murdered her, which I'm assuming she totally did. She got all defensive and shit, which is depressing as hell, and Hajime is being caught in the middle of it, which we're now seeing how Hajime is slowly turning into Izuru in some way after hearing a few words from one of the guards of the school and everything. So this has gone very, very downhill, knowing that Hope's Peak is like fucking evil. Like, they are hiding something. They are doing something wrong, which apparently it has to come from someone like Junko to make something that started the whole, ultimate tragedy, the ultimate despair, the atrocious tragedy that happened. And this is like almost getting to that point. So we'll see what happens in the next episode, shall we? So, this has to be my least favorite episode. One, Hajime is gone. I don't know why it's called the disappearance of Nagito Kamaida with melancholy and disappearance, because 1, Nagito is in the entire episode. 2, Hajime is really absent from this episode. 3, he's not Haruhi Suzumiya. Just kidding. Anyway, so in this episode, Nagito wanted to delay the exams because he wants everyone to do their best. And in order to do their best, they must not be in such despair. So he wants them to be shining hope once again by delaying the exam so they can go and calm down and recharge themselves into being hope. But, they couldn't because the media coverage would be everywhere and etc., etc. But Nagito's luck is really, really, really bad. Because Nagito risked a lot of people's lives for it. The girl Seiko comes back, the psycho girl with the medicine. She's a doctor, a nurse. And her stupid friend that I hate so much because she just wants her drugs because it's to help her succeed in life. It's to help her be fucking more advanced than anyone else. She is using her friend, oh, you're a childhood friend and whatever. And I still hate her because even though she considered her a friend in the beginning, She doesn't like her because despite that, Seiko said that sweets can kill her. Like, she's allergic to sweets. They can harm her. It's like poison to her. She doesn't listen. She takes it as an excuse. And she doesn't trust like that because she doesn't eat her fucking sweets. Which I find the most dumbest thing ever. That I still hate that her friend so much. I don't think she's considered a friend. She's just a girl that's using her because, hey, she's got the hookup. She's got the drugs that will make you go woo. Nagito, he has his luck on his side. He goes around trying to strap bombs everywhere in the gym, blow it up so the exams can be fucking postponed. And with his luck, it succeeds, including when he got the enhancement drug, a fucking little puppy dog turns into a big motherfucking like giant and it destroys the gym, which then accidentally triggers the bombs and then it blows up. No one got killed, shockingly. But again, it wasn't Nagito's intention to kill anyone. It was his intention to scare them and to not go and you do the exams immediately and just postpone them, which he succeeded, and he's happy he succeeded because he's the ultimate hope and he thinks he's trash. Well, he's the ultimate luck and hope, but he still thinks he's trash because, you know, how lucky am I to have this coincidence happen to me? You don't have to worry about trash like me. Like, that's him. And he succeeded, and it's scary, but that makes Chisa not be the teacher of the students anymore and go and sit in the reserve course, which is the intention because she has to go to reserve course in order to investigate what Hope's Peak Academy is really planning. What is their little awful, like, evil scheme that they are trying to do. But she's still sad that she has to say goodbye to her students. So that's the depressing part. This episode was sad. Even I cried because of Chiaki. Chiaki was like sitting in the bench. She had like snacks prepped and everything. She had her game waiting for Hajime. And Hajime didn't come. And it was really heartbreaking because Hajime and her are friends. Which makes it more sad because I do have a deep like connection with Chiaki because in Danganronpa 2, I always hung out with Chiaki in the game. I always try to branch out with other people, but sometimes I don't. I always choose Chiaki over them. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do, but I try to go and make sure I get a few people to at least have some hope fragments from them. And I didn't expect Chiaki be the one that I would collect all the hope fragments from. And I never do that. Like, I never got the entire hope fragments from anyone in the first game. So Chiaki's my first. That sounds weird. So that's why it's a deep connection for me, because I've always hung out with Chiaki, which is so strange because I'm playing Hajime and it turns out they were actually IRL friends before the whole simulation, before the whole Remnant of Despair thing. And it's actually pretty depressing. So I'm scared to wonder why Chiaki wasn't actually real and she's just a simulation to everyone, an AI program. It's a scary thought to wonder what happened to her, but I might cry, but then again, we still have the AI Chiaki that's alive still, right? We still have her and Monami, which is a positive thing, obviously. So, who knows what will happen, but we are gonna delve right into the 5th episode and see how things go. Oh boy. The last episode we're about to talk about is episode 5. And man, it's the start and the beginning. It's the end and the beginning. Like, this is the end, but it's also the beginning. So, how it's the beginning, Junko Enoshima and Makuro are going to Hope's Peak Academy, alongside with Kyoko Kirigiri, Makoto Naegi, and so far a few of the students that were in the first game. So that's the interesting thing. The best part about this episode I love is Junko. Junko is obsessed with narrating, but she gets bored of it easily, so she stops narrating and then becomes Monokuma when she draws a little picture of him on her book. I love Makuro and Junko's relationship with each other. Like, those two fucking are crazy. Like, Junko blew up a fucking, like, limo or some shit. Like, thank you, that'll be all. And she leaves her fucking wallet there and it blows up. And then she meets up with Makuro. They go into their little limo as well. And then Junko tries to kill Makuro with an ice pick. And they're talking so casually together, like, hey, are you excited for us to go to high school together? And she's like blocking each attack Junko had with the ice pick. And then Makuro's all like happy and like laughing, like, oh, look at Junko trying to murder me. Which is funny because she does murder her sister in the first game, so that's gonna be a real eye-opener for Makuro when she realizes that, yeah, Junko never gave a shit about you. Junko threw a fucking grenade at her. Makuro just daintily just like, kicks it, puts it in her wine glass, opens the window, throws it outside, kills a passing civilian's car in the process. Oh, it was so funny. I loved that. It was hilarious. That was good. This is the episode where they now mention the Kamakura project. And, of course, it's about, you already know, Izuru Kamakura, the founder of Hope's Peak Academy, which is what Hajime accepted. Because apparently Hope's Peak Academy wanted him to make the decision to go and become the everyone's hope, which is what he wanted to do. He wasn't sure about it at first, but Nanami gave him the confidence to try and be something he wants to be. He wants to lead his own path and become someone that he wants to be for everyone. And he wanted to be Izuru Kamakura just for Chiaki, because he wanted to be someone that Chiaki can be proud of and look up to, because he felt like, you know, he wasn't worth a damn or anything, and he wants actually a talent that can actually be something that everyone can love him for. Even though Chiaki loves Hajime the way he is, the way he acts, the way he is. Like, Chiaki loves him for a friend. She loves him. That's her friend right there. And it doesn't matter if he doesn't have a talent or not. She would rather love him for what he does in his future. And Hajime didn't need to prove anything to her. She was proud of him already. She loves him already. She didn't need something that he had to do. She just wanted her friend. And that's what she got, was her friend. For the entire school year almost, which sucks. It's sad. And he is now becoming Izuru Kamakura because of all the shit that has happened to him during his time there in the reserve course. And so now everyone finds out. Chiza learns about it in the reserve course because she got transferred there. Nagito is completely gone from this episode. No one knows where the hell he is. We finally see the real Ryota in his quest to make his anime that will save everyone, the one that he wants to make, because he got bullied in school and he was inspired by, and I'm not even kidding, he was inspired by Hayao Miyazaki movies to make a movie, to make his own anime that will bring people hope. Just the same way a certain Hayao Miyazaki or Studio Ghibli movie he watched that gave him hope to think that this is what I need to do to give people lots of hope, because he got bullied and he wanted to do something that can help everyone, including him, because he wants to help everyone with his anime. And you see he has posters, and again, since they don't have the rights to them, like the same thing with they don't have the rights to the video games and that they were playing in episode 2, you see like the knockoff posters of Kiki's Delivery Service and Castle in the Sky, and Kiki is blonde in that poster, so you can see his inspiration. And the imposter, who has no name whatsoever, no family registration, which is learned that he is like off the grid, off the map. He has no name or nothing. He just takes the lives of many people. And I guess he was Byakuya from the start. And he helped Ryota by taking his place in the school while he continued to make his anime. And that's interesting to see that happening, seeing these characters, seeing the origin of these characters that we were introduced to in Future Arc is actually pretty interesting, because we did see some backstory between them sometimes in the Future Arc, but not a lot to know them personally. And then we finally get to know a bit more about them here in Despair Arc. So this is pretty interesting going in this. Like, we see like Kirigiri's father, obviously he is part of Hope's Peak Academy, and you can see him like he sees the picture of his daughter there, in the picture, because she's going to be part of the new high school regimen for roster for the new students of Hope's Peak. So this is like the beginning of the characters of the first game's story arc, and this is the end for the characters in the second game's arc. So how long were they friends? I don't know. How long was it until the despair, the most atrocious and terrible like tragedy ever happened? And apparently we can see that Junko is really planning something in her head, because she's got bored. Or as she likes to say, I was just, fooling around. So a lot of interesting things are going to happen further down the road in Despair Arc. So this is really interesting. I don't know how Chiaki is feeling. I don't know if she still misses Hajime. Well, obviously she does, but she's still, as class representative, she did prepare a welcoming party for their teacher when she came back. And Hiyoko finally grew up. I'm not saying maturely. I'm saying like she grew up, as in she hit a growth spurt, and now she is taller now and no longer the short ass we know. So yeah, that's interesting. And I think this is when things start to go downhill, because now Hajime is now part of the experiment. He's now becoming Izuru Kamakura, because now his eyes are red now. So, this is getting really intense of what's going to happen. So, with that, this has been interesting so far, learning so much more about the arcs of these characters, learning so much more about how things are going to come to play, what's going to happen, what are we going to expect in the future in this in Despair Arc. We don't know. All I know is Hope's Arc is one episode, and the Nagito Kamaida OVA is a separate thing that I will talk about later soon. So, with that said, this has been Despair Arc 1 through 5, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And stay tuned for more Danganronpa stuff here on Month of Despair. Ciao, darlings.
Huh? Really? That's annoying. I guess I should just awkwardly laugh about it then. Heh.
I'm gonna do it. I'm seriously gonna do it. I'm seriously really gonna do it. Hey, want me to squish you in between them? What kind of man isn't excited by big women? You don't have to say, who are you talking to? It doesn't concern a chump like you. Before that, every time a computer froze, I used to put it in the microwave and nuke it. I happen to know 17,082 ways to do that. How should I put this? I was just goofing around. Who's gonna have to suck it down?
I have an unfortunate announcement to make.
You're Izuru Kamakura, you're Izuru Kamakura, you're Izuru Kamakura, you're Izuru Kamakura.